Welcome to the Cover 4 podcast. I'm Nolan Kangas. That's Bradshaw, Furlong, Jeff Wall, and Luca Moia. Going to be a shorter episode today because we are focusing strictly on one player and his situation. Kind of the news broke last week before the draft. Was that last week or is that 2 weeks ago? Time just is flying.
Time's flying by. Time doesn't matter. Time is a circle.
Regardless, this situation is just continuing on, and it was reported Aaron Rodgers unhappy in Green Bay. He wants out. He's already told, his teammates he's gone. He told potential free agents he might not be staying in Green Bay. No one knew about the situation until pretty much the day of the draft. And there's been a lot of talk of teams he might go to. So later in the show, we're going to do a fun little segment about that. But let's get started about how did we get here? How did we get where the reigning MVP just doesn't want to be in Green Bay anymore? Jeff, you are a lifelong Aaron Rodgers hater, like me, as we're both, fans of teams in the NFC North. Can you just give me an idea of what the situation is, and also what was the kind of the breaking point for Rodgers in your eyes?
It's a good question. I mean, I do think a lot of this has to do with Tom Brady and what he's been able to do, and I think the ability to control his situation generally has always been something I think a lot of, especially quarterback, kind of covet. And it's also, it's not like Tom Brady hasn't had that in New England. He always did. I don't know why it's just come out now like, oh yeah, he's had so much control in Tampa. That's why he went there. No, he's always had control. It's just a different situation, right? But I do think the fact that the Packers have drafted horribly didn't help anything. And I think that, the way they lost in the NFC Championship, which was a very close game, it was just really, in my opinion, I think we all talked about it, just awful officiating right at the end there. And I don't know, he did kind of struggle in that game. That was one of his tougher games of the season. Obviously, their first game against Tampa wasn't even tougher. And maybe he just wants to get out of the NFC. I don't fully know, especially because a few of those teams that he mentioned were actually out of the NFC and in the AFC. But it does seem like a lot of this comes down to contract security. And I think to myself this, okay, so Aaron Rodgers, it's not like you just came into the NFL. It's not like you're coming in on a rookie free agent deal. You have earned millions of dollars. You've been on a commercial for State Farm or whatever it is for God knows how long, for 10 years. How is it exactly you've been earning millions of dollars that you don't have financial security? Look, and I'm not one to rip on somebody for this, but you've had millions of dollars, millions of dollars, more than Dr. Evil could even bargain for you from. And you are somehow now asking for more security, right? Well, this is something that you guys in the NFL Players Association should be working out anyway for guaranteed contracts. But I thought your goal was to win. I thought your goal, Aaron Rodgers, was to win a championship. And the teams that you mentioned have less of a shot of winning a championship, in my opinion, because your offensive line is ridiculous in Green Bay, has always been ridiculous, and somehow has always gotten the blame. You have probably the best receiver in football, just based on last year, Devontae Adams, absolutely. You have a new great young mind in Matt LaFleur, as your head coach, who's a great offensive mind, who start to seemingly figure things out with you. You're just coming off an MVP season. And the thing that maybe possibly might be the tipping point is that, someone want more money and then someone made fun of you. What did they say? Did they say that you're not the height of Tom Brady? Because we all know you're insecure about your height, even though you're 6'2", you're a very tall man. I don't get it. I don't get it. And I honestly, I just think this is awful. This is awful because and I'm also all for players empowering themselves, going out and getting what they want. And it's more fun that way. It's honestly, it is more fun that way. The NFL would be, but you know what? I just think it just seems like Aaron Rodgers is being petty, which is unsurprising. And you know what? At the end of the day, I hope he gets what he wants, because ultimately your career is short, but for the reasons he wants to go, for the teams he wants to go for, it's just awful. Just an awful situation.
Luca, what do you think about this situation? What do you think was the tipping scale here for Rodgers?
I think it could possibly be the mindset going into these drafts. And you look at his team, Jeff hit it on the head, right? He's got an unbelievable offensive line. He's got not a lot of people could say they have the best receiver in football, a top 3 receiver. And he has that. And he has, I would think, we're not really high in the running back position, but Aaron Jones is a nice piece also to that offense as well. And when you look at what they've drafted in the last 2 years, I get Jordan Love, and then they go for Eric Stokes. Okay, say what you want. It might have been a reach, but the mindset, I think, it's the mindset of not helping him out on the offensive side of the ball. Taking a quarterback, do you think in 3 years? Probably not the best idea. And then you take a cornerback instead of maybe giving him another receiver. And then if he had that receiver, maybe we'd be talking about a different champion at the end of last season. But you said it, Jeff. That game was close. He had a chance to win that game. I mean, it was what, 1st and goal on the 8th, and he could get it in 3 tries. I get it. People say, okay, well, you got to give him a 4th try. But I guess what Matt LaFleur saw after the first 3 tries, kick the field goal, trust in the defense. And for years we heard Aaron Rodgers is so good. He needs help on the defense. He can't score over 30 points a game. His defense is giving up an average of 25 points in the playoffs. And then when they do that, he gets upset. So for me, it's kind of like a situation where, well, do you want your defense? You want help because when you score 30 points a game, your defense is giving up 40? Or do you want, the stats? Do you want the big time plays that he's known for doing? I think for me, when you look at Aaron Rodgers, I think it has to be the last 2 drafts, I'm going to say, because taking your replacement is never fun, but he has to also realize that this is a business. They did the exact same thing with Brett Favre and you. And they're doing this because I guess they know how he is. They know that he gets upset often, and he says it publicly. They're taking a quarterback for 3 years. It's not like he's 26. Like, he's like, what, 37? We don't see a lot of quarterbacks go past 37 and play good at 37. He might be the one-off, him, Tom Brady, okay, but there's no proof to say that. And when they took Jordan Love, he just had one of his worst careers. And he said, oh, well, my down year is a career year for everybody else. But Green Bay's used to having good quarterback play. And when you struggle, especially when you have Devontae Adams, great offensive line and things like that, it's like, well, what do you want them to think? So I think it's a little bit of everything. I do think Aaron Rodgers wants too much. And the money that Jeff brought up, I'm not going to sit here and say don't get your money, right? Because he's an NFL quarterback. He wants his money. I guess he wants security because we know injuries happen all the time, especially in this sport. But at the same time, look at what the team has done. Don't worry about what they haven't done. Look what they've given you. And I think it's more of not drafting a wide receiver, not drafting a tight end, and drafting a quarterback or a cornerback or a linebacker, let's just say. That's where he's thinking. He's not thinking about how these guys can help out your football team as a whole. He's thinking, how can it help my offense? How can it help me be better because I'm the best player on this team? And if you have a mindset like that, that's fine. But at the same time, you can be the best quarterback in the league, but you might not necessarily win every single Super Bowl. You need a team. It is a team game. All the credit goes to Tom Brady, and I'm going to be the first one to say I give a lot of credit to Tom Brady, but the Bucs team is really good. That defense is really good. Those weapons are really, really good. He had Bill Belichick in New England, who's a really, really good head coach. So it takes everything. If your quarterback's not on the same page, the franchise is kind of put in a bind because, like, do we make you happy? Yes, but at the same time, making you happy shouldn't making you happy be winning football games. And if we could do that by helping out the rest of the team, I don't know why you're so pissed off. So I think it's just a combination of everything. But if he goes to another team, he goes to another team, and hopefully he can show Green Bay why it was a mistake.
Bradshaw, what about you?
We've been talking about specifically the last 2 drafts and how they haven't drafted. They definitely didn't draft a receiver early or at all last year, and they didn't do what, and they took Amari Rodgers this year. But Amari Rodgers was their first receiver picked within the first 2 days since 2015. Like, they just haven't drafted receivers for him or any help aside from, I think it was Jamon Moore was a receiver they took in the 4th round however many years ago. It's just I understand they had to build up their defense, and I get that, but at the same time, if you're going this many years without drafting receivers and you're like banking on guys like Equanimeous St. Brown and Marquez Valdes-Scantling, and those guys have turned into pretty good receivers for where you got them, but it limits out. Like, they can only get so good. Like, they can only their ceiling is only so high, those guys, because they're not high pedigree receivers, right? So you're putting a lot of the onus on Aaron Rodgers, and especially when Mike McCarthy was there, he was definitely putting a lot of the onus on Aaron Rodgers to make a lot of things happen. I do think the biggest, I think all of that was kind of like building up, not giving any weapons, and then finally taking Jordan Love, but not only taking Jordan Love and not consulting with him and or calling him and being like, hey, we like this kid from Utah State. We're going to draft him. How do you feel about that? Or like, we might be drafting him. How do you feel about it? And then taking And then like you give him a weapon, but it's AJ Dillon in a running back room where you already have Jamal Williams and Aaron Jones, who you decided to pay anyway. So it's been baffling with some of the decisions they've made, because I feel like they're a very I think we can all agree they're a very well coached team, and they're, for the most part, they're a generally pretty well run team. But when it comes to draft, they just either they're not getting guys that are going to impact them like at all, or guys that like will benefit Aaron Rodgers. And I know Jeff talked about some of the control stuff, but it's just so frustrating to see this team like just completely disregard their franchise player. I know like, in the NFL, there's the whole culture like you don't want like no one player is bigger than the team, but Aaron Rodgers is bigger than the team, guys. Like this is kind of, if you lose him, you're kind of screwed, especially when Devontae Adams comes out and is like, well, my future is kind of based on what Aaron Rodgers does too. So that you're going to be left without your number one receiver or your number one, your franchise quarterback. Jordan Love will be there throwing to who? Amari Rodgers and MVS. Like, congratulations, Jordan. Good luck. Yeah, it's a really, really tough situation for kind of both sides. Like I understand where both sides are coming from, but I'm definitely more on Rodgers' side, where I'm like, they haven't done it. Like if you felt disrespected and you felt like they haven't done enough for you, and they haven't been, they haven't communicated with you when you see other quarterbacks getting that same treatment. I find it hard to see like where the wrong is on his side. Like it just, he's seeing other quarterbacks of his stature or even lower stature getting better treatment. Like the Bears called Andy Dalton. He hasn't played a game, and they called him like, "Hey, we're drafting Justin Fields, buddy." Aaron Rodgers has given you his entire career. He's given you a championship. He's given you a chance to compete for a championship every year, and you don't have the decency, like or at least a little respect for him to at least just give him a call, send him a text, and just be like, "Hey, we're thinking about drafting Jordan Love. How would you feel about that?" They made a bad bet that Aaron Rodgers was gonna fall off. He obviously did not, and you put yourself in this position. Good luck, Green Bay.
I find it odd that of the two times that we can think about most of where there's a franchise quarterback who's ultra talented and throughout their career kind of getting close to the tail end, that team picks a first round quarterback, and that quarterback who's obviously the superstar there is so pissed off, right? Brady, I guarantee you majority of the times where they thought of taking Ryan Mallon, Jimmy Garoppolo, they said, we're going to take a guy, developmental player. We think you can teach him, because they didn't expect him to, play until he's, past 40, right? This past year, Tom Brady says, yeah, that's fine. Kyle Trask, think he's a good kid, hasn't played a lot of football. I'll help him develop. And you're right. Every situation, even the Vikings recently, they told Kirk, we're probably going to take a quarterback. I don't know how you don't do that with Aaron Rodgers. And I understand the drafting situation as well. You think of earlier in his career, though, they were drafting some players, just not in the first round. You think of second-round picks. I think Jordy Nelson was a second-round pick. Greg Jennings was, obviously he was drafted before and was with Brett for a little bit. But Devontae Adams, second-rounder as well, right? They do get talent there, but it's just these last two have really gone over the edge of how horrible they are. We've heard reports about Jordan Love. It seems like right now he can't play. They say, oh, he's still got a long way to go, but we're excited about his development. To me, that doesn't sound too exciting if I'm a Green Bay fan, right? You're so used to winning division titles. You were the first seed in the NFC last year. The playoffs went through Lambeau, and obviously, Tom Terrific ends up beating you again. But the money situation is bizarre to me too. And Jeff, I think you hit the nail on the head here. Like, this isn't a rookie who hasn't experienced, a good fortune coming in, and you see that with a lot of rookies. They come in, they get their money, sweet. I'll buy mom a house, I'll buy my dad a truck, I'll put some money in savings. I'm gonna, swag out, just buy a bunch of, sweet outfits or whatever it is, and jewelry. Aaron Rodgers has been getting contract after contract, right? He seems like a smart guy with his money too. It's not like a situation where he's buying yacht after yacht after yacht after I don't know why he needs that financial security, right? And you're right. He gets he's an Adidas athlete. He's obviously with State Farm getting, crazy checks, I'm assuming. Like, that to me is so bizarre. And we're going to get to the teams in a situation that, he has interest in. Some of these are, awful franchises that have had no success in 30 plus years, which doesn't make much sense to me at all, right? But overall, in my opinion, I think it's done. I don't think there's any way of fixing this if you're Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. I think he's set. He wants out. And I think he would be willing to go, not anywhere. Obviously, he's not going to want to go to the Houston Texans or anything like that. But if it is a competitor he wants out, and then Green Bay at that point, not pretty at all. Because Bradshaw, you're right. He is the franchise right now. We've seen him put up these MVP seasons where you're right. MVS and Alan Lazard and Robert Tonyan comes out of nowhere and having, really productive seasons, right? It's kind of a sad situation for Green Bay. Do I feel, bad? No. I'm pretty sure Jeff feels the same way. Like, they've had enough success. It's time to, pass it on to one of these other teams. But, certainly a messy situation for the Packers. All right, we're going to go to the next segment here. Bradshaw, you can take it away and explain what we're doing.
Sorry, you're not speaking to Bradshaw. You're speaking to Aaron Rodgers. I am Aaron Rodgers, and with me I have the GMs of the Washington football team, the Denver Broncos, and the Las Vegas Raiders, and they're going to pitch to me their proposals for me to go to their teams because I'm done. I'm done with Green Bay. I've absolutely had it. This backwater town in Wisconsin, I've had enough. I want to go to a better market, and I want to go to a better situation that actually respects me. So we're going to throw it over to the GM, Nolan Kangas first. Please give me your pitch.
So I will be the Washington football team in this situation. And Aaron, here's the thing. We're a really young team. We get it. We were horrible, years ago. I get it. Like, our owner sucks too. But look at the talent on this roster. You want a receiver who is a phenomenal route runner? Terry McLaurin. You want a receiver who can just, get past any DB? Guess who we just took here in the third round? Diami Brown. We got a gadget player for you too, like Curtis Samuel. Oh, fantastic. Running backs, I know, but we don't have an Eddie Lacy. We don't have an A.J. Dillon. We have guys who catch the ball out of the backfield and are productive with that. And Tony Gibson, J.D. McKissick, our offensive line, we need to improve that. We know we need that to support you. And even if we get in tough situations with that offensive line, guess what? Teams aren't scoring 25 plus on us. We know we've seen that happen to you in those NFC championship games and throughout the playoffs where your defense can't help you out. We have a top 5 defense in football, all young, all hungry for some success. And we think if you come to Washington, you are the savior. We thought that was going to be RG3. That situation didn't happen. We thought that was going to be Dwayne Haskins. That situation didn't happen either. I really think you coming to Washington can push us over the top. And I know we're going to have to give up some first-round picks. We're not going to be able to take our weapons there. We have the weapons for you, man. We have the weapons. And guess what? We aren't giving up any of them. We're going to give up some pieces on the defensive side because we're that loaded. Okay, Aaron? Also, you get to play in the NFC East. It is garbage. We will be winning lots of division titles. And we still have close to $17 million in cap space. I'm sure we can figure out a contract to make you financially stable. That is my pitch to Aaron Rodgers to come to Washington.
It's a very intriguing offer. I sure would like to go to those Washington Capitals games when I'm in town as well. I think that'd be a lot of fun to watch Alex Ovechkin play the good sport of hockey there. I haven't watched not too much hockey here in Wisconsin, so I'd like to get a little taste of that. Jeff Wall, the GM of the Las Vegas Raiders. Congratulations for taking over from Mike Mayock, by the way. Please give me your pitch for the Vegas Raiders.
Well, here's the thing. I'm actually Mike Mayock, and we
oh my god,
guys mostly with the criteria of the bubble, but that's very important to me. Okay, but I'm gonna get pull over John Gruden. Hey, John, come over here. That's the guy you want to talk to. Okay, how's it going, Aaron? How you doing, man? So here's the thing, man. I'm sick of this Derek Carr guy. Okay, listen to me. I've taken over the Las Vegas Raiders, and last time I was here, I made a guy named don't know if you heard of him. Rich Gannon, MVP of the National Football League, okay? Spider 2Y Banana was the play, all right? The NFL's got a little more advanced, and I realized that. I need a special guy, a special quarterback, okay, man? So here's the deal, we're going to trade Derek Carr, get him out of here, and you are going to be the face of Las Vegas sports. Huh? How's that sound? You're going to play in a dome, okay? No snow, nice heat. You can go outside, catch the Rays, You can go to the casino, play some blackjack if that's what you like, And guess what? Look, miss a little bit on the offensive line. We don't really have a good offensive line. You're going to be running for your life, but you're really good at that. You're really good at that, man. You're really good at that. So here's the deal, okay? You got Josh Jacobs over here. He's spectacular, okay? He used to be homeless. Did you know? Did you know that Josh Jacobs used to be homeless, and he runs like it, man. You gotta love that, man. And they're down the line here. You ever heard of Josh Brown? Josh Brown, he's really fast. You ever heard of speed? Speed kills. That's it on the NFL. Well, we got Henry Ruggs the third, man. Drafted him last year. He turned out pretty good, man. Pretty good. You just gotta run around a little bit. Just chuck that thing. Play backyard football with him, man. And you know what else? We got a very special tight end. He's a very handsome man named Darren Waller. Probably the best tight end in the NFL, man. I like him, man. He's one of those special players. Run Spider 2-wide banana with him a lot. And on top of that, man, I know you heard of this guy. He's named Patrick Mahomes. He's in the division here. We got Max Crosby, Cleveland Farrell, Takarius McKinley. You might have heard of him. Carl Nassib and Yannick Ngakwe. So we got these guys to rush after the quarterback. And I heard on this podcast I was into, Cover 4 podcast, safety, probably one of the most important positions in the NFL. Drafted 3 of them this year. Okay, man? Okay, he's a pretty smart guy, Jeff Wall. And so we're going to take down this guy. This guy thinks he's the hot shot. Patrick Mahomes, stealing your stuff. He just say, he does the no-look passes. Aaron, listen, buddy, I know you've been doing the no-look passes, okay, man? And not only that, we're going to show him who's boss. We're going to show Andy Reid who's boss. We're going to also take down that kid down in L.A. It's a kid that shaved his head off, what's his name there? Yeah, you know his name. But the thing is, man, we're going to take over this division. I know you wanted to go to the Denver Broncos, man. But listen, Vic Fangio, don't know what he's doing with the offense, man. He's terrible. He got all the weapons in the world. Well, you don't know what to do, man. And you don't want that responsibility to hold the clipboard and tell players what to do, man. I'll tell the players what to do. I'll take the heat, man. I'll be swearing at them. You don't have to be petty at all. It's all good, buddy. It's all good. You can retire here. Take Shailene Woodley to the casino, and you're gonna love it here. All right, man.
Didn't know John Gruden was such a big Bears fan. I didn't know you had all the Bears gear there with you, but I appreciate hearing from you, John. I'll now move over to the Denver Broncos, and we have Luca Moia representing the Denver Broncos, or maybe not. We'll see. I was surprised last time. We'll see what we get this time.
I mean, yeah. Listen, Al Pacino just took over Vegas. It seemed like, but okay, we'll go for Denver. Listen here, Aaron. How's it going? Hope you're doing well.
Thank you.
I'm gonna just start off by saying we got the weapons here. Okay, we invest in our offense. Okay, Jerry Jeudy, you've heard about him. Great route runner. And we got Cortland Sutton this last year, but he's coming back stronger. Just talk to his doctor. He's going to be good to go. Noah Fant, great tight end. And we drafted a running back, Javonte Williams. He's going to break tackles for you. He's going to keep some pressure off your back. Let me go to the defensive side of the ball. We got a lockdown corner from Patrick Surtain II. We got a guy from the Bears and Fuller. Our linebacking core, it's starting to come along. We got a good pass rusher in Bradley Chubb. The defensive line is also looking pretty good. The offensive line, it's not like what you're quite used to in Green Bay, Aaron, but we're gonna try to make it better for you. And listen, here in Denver, we take guys that people think that are washed and turn them into studs. Can you remember Peyton Manning? You won a Super Bowl. We think you can win multiple for us. And you look at Patrick Mahomes, he's in this division, and people were comparing him to you. I think you go in there twice a year. You could take him down. Justin Herbert, you could take him down. We don't got to worry about the Raiders. Don't worry. We got that covered. So come here to Denver. You're going to win a lot of Super Bowls. And think about it. You can be the savior. We've had a lot of great quarterbacks here. I just took over John Elway's job. But John Elway, Peyton Manning, and now Aaron Rodgers. And then if you want to throw Tim Tebow in there, sure. But these are the guys that people are talking about, the savior of Denver. Well, you can come in. You can be just as good as them, if not better. We think we have a chance to win multiple Super Bowls here. And we are going to confide in you. I'm going to text you every night, and I'm going to call you to say, listen, this is where we're going. This is what we're thinking in practice. This is who we're going to draft. This is who we're looking at. You want us to trade for somebody? You talk to us. We got our draft capital still. Free agency? Sure. It's all for you, Aaron. Come to Denver. We'll win Super Bowls together and have fun and take down Patrick Mahomes.
Wow, that's a very, very committed offer. I don't know how I feel about you texting me late at night, but
I got to do what I got to do.
I might be spending some time with my wife, but I appreciate the offer. I'll keep that in mind. I appreciate all your offers. I the pros and cons to all of them. I don't want to be just another guy coming into Denver. You know, I don't want to be looked at as like, oh, I just did the same thing Peyton Manning did. I want to build my own legacy, and I can do that in Las Vegas. I can become the face of Las Vegas. I can, have my name on the Las Vegas Strip with all the big celebrities and all that. But also Washington, their new team name coming soon, and Aaron Rodgers, the face of that new team name. That sounds pretty good. But obviously, Denver has a really great situation, a lot of great weapons, a mile-high city. You can't get enough of that, and I love Denver. I think when it comes down to it, I have to choose the Denver Broncos. I like the situation just a little bit too much. Vic Fangio seems like a great guy, and John Elway, for as weird as he looks, he's a good friend of mine, and I'm looking forward to having a great business partnership with him. So, sorry, John, I see I can't tell if you're squinting or that's just how you always look, but
listen, man, you're gonna be seeing Spider Two-Wire Banana just wreck your defense every single game. All right, man. You'll be regretting the day you turned down John Gruden. Okay, man.
I apologize, John, but I don't think I have to worry too much about the Las Vegas Raiders anytime soon. I think you guys might have to worry about your offensive line a little bit. That'll be all for. I don't know, the decision with Aaron Rodgers is what we're going to call this.
It's pretty good.
We'll go back to Nolan Kangas. Thank you, Nolan.
I obviously think, in the end, Denver makes the most sense, right? Tons of
Thank
weapons.
you. I agree.
Vegas, to me, and that was a tough sell. You have Joe Pesci there. Really trying to sell by saying that the running back runs like he's homeless.
I don't know if you knew that, man.
Here we go.
I also like the sell of Max Crosby and Cleveland Furl in the preseason. In the end, and I know, Jeff, you can probably, side with this too. If he went to Vegas, he's not winning anything. Like, I don't understand what's
in the water. He's going to be by every other pass rusher in that division. Joey Bosa is also in that division. Yeah, he's going to have a tough time.
It's so confusing. And why would anybody yes, Denver is a different case because you have a phenomenal defense, a defensive-minded coach, and you have, weapons, a second-rounder, a first-rounder, another second-rounder, KJ Hamler, a first-round tight end. Offensive line's getting, better second-round running back. Like, they just invested. Okay, you'd have to be in the same division as Patrick Mahomes, but wouldn't you want to just go in a division regardless and just be like, oh, I have a chance of winning this division and make the playoffs every year? I just can't see why on earth you would want to go to the worst team in one of the stronger divisions. That's just mind-boggling.
I feel like Denver is probably the strongest one, but I mean, I think we mentioned Carolina, but then I thought to myself, the Bucs are still going to be tough to beat every single year. And then I think actually Washington is kind of a decent shout, though. I mean, their team is pretty decent. I think he would have to take over the offense, though, completely. He would have to run that thing. Otherwise, I don't know how successful they'd be.
Okay, so before we go here, we've mentioned Denver. You mentioned Carolina quickly. Obviously, we had Washington. We don't think there's any way he goes to Vegas, even though that's second highest on the odds of teams he could get traded to. Let's go with dark horse all around it. You think would be a perfect fit, or at least obviously a good fit. I'm pretty sure Aaron Rodgers can fit into any situation because he's that talented. That would be good for him. So, Luca, what would be a team, and if you say New England, I swear to God, but that you think would be really smart to go and try and get Aaron Rodgers?
There's one team, and there's completely a shot in the dark. Not every single year, but I guess for the last year we've been hearing, is Tua the answer? They've got picks. They've seemed like they figured it out on the offensive side. They got good weapons. Jalen Waddle. They signed Will Fuller, who Green Bay was interested in last year. I think Miami maybe can make a push. They don't have to, even if they give up 3 first-round picks, they're still going to have another 10 the way they do business. So maybe you do that. You throw Tua the other way, have him and Jordan Love battle it out. It would hurt because he's coming to the AFC East. I see him twice a year. Now I'd feel the pain of you two, Jeff and Nolan. But I think that could be a team that's interesting because I think they're in on Deshaun Watson. That's kind of situations that happen with him are unfortunate. But if they can go for Aaron Rodgers, they've got the capital to do it, and they've got a young quarterback that if they don't necessarily believe in, you just go and get him right now, and you can compete with Buffalo in that AFC.
Yeah, Miami would be super fun. Bradshaw, what about you?
I didn't have one off the top of my head, and I just quickly scrolled through the standings, and I was like, you know what? This would be really, really funny if they say Carson Wentz doesn't work out for the Indianapolis Colts, and they have a ton of assets. They always have assets. Chris Ballard just likes to hoard his assets. He's the Danny Ainge of the NFL, it seems like. I mean, why the hell not, right? Like if Carson Wentz isn't there for a while, maybe they can't figure him out. Why the hell not bring in Aaron Rodgers if you can? I mean, he's certainly an upgrade over Carson Wentz. He certainly isn't a likely possibility. I can't say whatever happened, but I mean, if Chris Ballard ever decided, you know what, might as well try it. That'd certainly be a fun landing spot.
That would be for sure. Jeff, what about you?
That is a really good landing spot, Bradshaw. I think that would almost have been perfect if he had just, decided on this a bit earlier. Maybe he would have been in Indianapolis, honestly. But I'm going to go with another team in the AFC. I guess we all went with teams in the AFC, the Cleveland Browns, because they seem like they're the team like they have a lot of assets in the sense of players, right? That you probably could, hey, OBJ, awesome. Send him over to Green Bay, give him 2 first-round picks, right? They don't happen to have 2 in each of the next couple first rounds anymore, but they're still, they still got a lot of draft capital that they can use to shift over there. And you can obviously give Baker Mayfield, say, hey, take one shot at him. All right, you're in the bottom of the division. You can trade up, get one of these quarterbacks if one of them happens to be good enough for you. Why not? And not only that, obviously the team seems very good. Like they're very much on the rise. Their scheme is awesome. He won't have to worry about throwing the ball all the time so his arm doesn't get sore. The defense looks like it's going to be a lot better. You got Myles Garrett, so it's automatically going to be good. You may just need to get a defensive coordinator coming in there. Worst comes to worst. And you're in a division where pretty much everybody's falling off. Like Joe Burrow is going to be in the hospital for the most part. And Ben Roethlisberger is going to be in the retirement home. And Lamar Jackson, you got to pray that these receivers work out, because if they don't, they're not winning the division. So yeah, I'd say the Cleveland Browns.
Cleveland's interesting too, because that's been floated around a little bit on social media, and you still have Browns fans who go, I'd rather have Baker than Aaron Rodgers. And I love Baker, but if you have a chance,
traumatized.
And already a team, like you mentioned, who is this talented, and they have Super Bowl aspirations. This isn't a team like last year where it's like, hey, maybe they put it together. They put it together. They're ready to roll. So Aaron Rodgers there would be interesting. I'll give one more, and this is just because it'd be fun for me. New Orleans. Jameis Winston situation, we don't know. Taysom Hill, obviously not the guy. Ian Book, hello, that's disgusting. Aaron Rodgers to New Orleans, and the Vikings face them in the playoffs again and beat them in the Dome. That would be the chef's kiss.
I wonder if another. Okay, first off, Nolan, you would hate the Saints even more. Like I would just put it over the top for you. I wonder if he came out with this news if the Rams would have pulled the trigger, because they're so aggressive and they gave away 2 first-round picks for Stafford already. Maybe I wonder if they probably would have pulled the trigger knowing them and how aggressive they are with their draft picks. They just throw away first-round picks like it's nothing.
I think the guarantee they would have done that. That's so weird that obviously now we're at the end of the episode that this news came out just before the draft, when he could have done it at the end of the offseason, when he already told free agents, don't come to Green Bay because I'm thinking of leaving.
That's what it was. I remember that. So at the beginning of the offseason, they did try to make a run at him. I remember that rumor came out after the Stafford trade. They did try to make a run at Aaron Rodgers because there were a little bit of rumors that like, oh, maybe he's unhappy, but there wasn't all this. They did try to make a run at him. I had to check to make sure, but they did.
Okay.
And obviously they were rebuffed at the time.
He just got horrible timing. He is not a good businessman, apparently.
Well, no, but this has been going on for like Adam Schefter admitted, like this has been going on for a while. He just chose to put it out before the draft.
But why not do it when so many teams are in a win now mode and need quarterbacks? And you saw like everybody wanted Deshaun Watson, and then everybody wanted Stafford and all this stuff. And it's like, buddy, like you would have been the number one guy. I don't know if you were the MVP. I know you don't like. You always want to like push down your accomplishments because you got that massive chip on your shoulder. But come on. Like it was a no-brainer if that's the truth.
So wild.
And I believe you.
Well, that's going to do it for this episode. Obviously, we thought it was going to be a short one, but we just rambled on about Aaron Rodgers and the messy situation in Green Bay.
Well, Al Pacino came into the episode, so
obviously, yeah, that was a phenomenal performance by a mix of every character in Casino. So that was really well done, Jeff. Guys, later, I'm pretty sure we'll come out with another episode later this week. We're going to be talking still some rookies, maybe some fun predictions for those guys on their new teams, but this is the Cover 4 podcast. That's Bradshaw, Jeff, and Luca. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe on Lingo Sports. Check us out on Instagram as well. That's going to do it. We'll see you guys soon.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please drop a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to Lingo Sports and Lingo News for a whole lot more just like this.